And welcome everybody to a brand new week of Grand Slam Saturday. This is your episode 4, the 5th of June. I'm Big Paulie coming to you. We're getting ready for our first bout. On this episode, it's from San Juan, Puerto Rico. And this is for the world title, Dory Funk Jr. against Antonino Rocca. A quick look of where we are right now in GSW in terms of who's the champs and who has made the Monarch of the Mat tournament. And there you are. We have a couple of new champs. We have Hector Garza, who is the World Junior Heavyweight Champ, winning the Battle Royal as you saw on last week's show. And just within the past few minutes, we have a brand new international champ, and that is going to be Jerry Briscoe. And that's going to change a few things around in terms of who will be getting shots at the titles in GSW. We will explain that in greater detail in just a moment. Let's now show you the Monarch of the Mat circuit winners, complete with what you saw last week. Dick Davis Court becoming the third 1 seed to make the tournament. So he's right now looking at a top 3 seeding. And Captain Redneck, Dick Murdoch, winning the Calgary circuit, even though right now he is in Memphis. Later on in this episode, we will go to Tokyo and Mexico City and find entrants 15 and 16 into the final stage of Monarch of the Mat, which will begin the following week with 2 matches in the first round, and then a round of 18, and then a round of 16 the following week. We'll have some bonus matches that first week for you. So let's get you to what happened in San Juan. And we will point out that Mr. Saito defeated Dutch Savage by DQ in a little over 20 minutes. Dan Miller, who has been doing well in GSW, first in the Tampa circuit, and now in San Juan, he beats Bobo Brazil. It was Dick Slater and Ricky Chozu. Ricky wins by DQ. Slater got a good fan reaction, but he bumped into the ref, and that wound up costing him. Team Hell No and the New Day had a fan favorites match. The New Day easily pinned in about a little over 6.5 minutes, so they'll be going to Montreal. It has just been learned Dr. Jerry Graham, Miguel Perez Sr. could not resolve their feud. They went to a double countout in 4 minutes and 27 seconds of a brawl. And Hiroyoshi Tenzan lost his international title to Jerry Briscoe. Briscoe has now is now the international champ. He is the second set of brothers to have had, both of them have had GSW championships. And the other brothers, I guess you could guess, the Funk brothers, Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk, have each held GSW titles in the length of GSW. So what this means is, if Jerry Briscoe is still the international champ by the time we get to Charlotte next week, the Von Brauners will get the tag title shot for finishing second in the Battle Royal, because unless it is tournament related, you cannot hold more than one title in GSW. So Jerry could wind up being World Tag Team, part of a World Tag Team title team, and hold the international title, and that is just not, it's verboten by GSW laws. And so that brings us to our main event. Dory Funk Jr. coming in as champion. He is 8-2-5, and Antonino Rocca 5-3-1. He just held the World Junior Heavyweight title not too long ago. So we'll quickly get to this match. It is one fall. It is 60 minutes. Dory has now been champ 14 weeks. And Vogue likes Dory to win the title. He's had some very tough battles. Of course, he just had a 60-minute draw with Wahoo McDaniels. As we close in and show you the play-by-play here, it is Rocca locking up with Funk. Splits on a wet spot and loses control. Funk has it. He uses punches, 5 points. Kick by Rocca, chop by Rocca, fan interaction by Rocca. And it's an even contest 2 minutes in. Legal leg hold by Dory. Disqualified check, Dory using punches. He does not want to get DQ'd. He thinks he could beat anybody on the planet, so he did not avail himself of the defend the title rules. Legal whip to the ropes by Rocca. Legal elbow by Rocca. No action. Legal arm hold by Rocca. Body slam countered. Funk going for a big move. Spinning toe hold. A little too early for that, I would think. And no submission. Disqualify check. Dory using punches again. And punches some more. And a body scissors, that floating body scissors that Antonino Rocca could use. I've seen Kevin Von Erich do that. And Rocca could just do that midair like Kevin Von Erich could. And that's 5 points off. Kick by Rocca. Can't really clamp down when you're doing that in midair. Double foot slap, that's countered by Funk. Funk goes for the spinning toe hold again. Again, too early to get it. And we move on. We're 6:51 into the bout. Rocca trailing by about 25 points in terms of damage. Choke by Dory. Elbow by Dory. Knee by Dory. Souffle attempt, yes. Now this could get a pin. Very slim odds that it would. But nothing happens. Rocca kicked that at 1. Another pin attempt here by Dory. No. As he's chopped to the throat and did an illegal pin attempt. Another pinhole. He's using the ropes for leverage. No. So Dory applying some pressure, and he's opened up a 62-point lead, 9 minutes 14 seconds into the bout. Souffle attempt, thud. Dory gets it. And he retains the title. Let's see what happened. It was a count-out win. Funk Jr. ran Rocca into the ring post, which causes Rocca hit the floor hard. Dory re-enters the ring, waits for the count of 10, and Dory Funk, your winner tonight via the dreaded count-out. So Dory will not pick any points up in rankings for the count-out win, but he will escape and head to the Eastern Combine. I do not know who he is facing as of this moment in the on the Eastern Combine, the North American Eastern Combine. For the title, rumors have it Bruno Sammartino may get another shot at it, but some other territories want to bring their best contender forward, but we will see. We will take whoever the highest rated is. Charlotte cannot get a title match because it already is getting a title match next week between the Von Brauners, as it appears now, and Youngblood and Steamboat. And the time of the match went 10:16, and Dory picks up no rankings points for it because he was 35 points the better than Rocca. Final damage was 41, 113, and it got a 3.0 star rating. So that does it for San Juan, and now we head across the pond to London town in the UK. Now let's take you to London, England for a ladies' title match. This is going to be a women's title match between Fabulous Moolah and Mildred Burke, who have been meeting a few times as of late. London had a very interesting show. All the matches were specialty matches due to a cancellation of last month's card due to storms in the United Kingdom. So I will go through what we did for each match and then get you to our main event from Cheerio, London. In a 6-round bout, now remember, in 4 of the 7 bouts we had rounds bouts, European style. You could also win the match via a knockout. You could also win by disqualification if 3 public warnings were issued to 1 grappler in the European rules matches. So Big Daddy and Mick McManus were the first 2 to go, and McManus lost 3:33 in the round 6 as Daddy won by DQ and Bert Azarati interfered. Atlantis only needed 1 round to defeat Gideon Gita. These were 5-minute rounds, and we went 6 rounds in the first 3 bouts, and in the 5th bout we went 8. So it was technically a 40-minute bout. So Atlantis over Gideon Gita. He goes to the Tampa circuit, we're hearing. Rick Steiner against Giant Haystacks. We hear Haystacks is going to New York after Steiner pins him in 2:29, and we're going to change the rules after this week, and we're going to have trade lotteries every 4 weeks to determine who goes where instead of having guys job out. So Steiner over Haystacks. Then we had a 2 out of 3 fall bout between the Bulldogs and the Infernos, and they split the falls and had a double count out in one fall. So it went 1-1-1. The Bulldogs had 5 points picked up because they won a clean fall and they got a double count out. The Infernos won a match by count out, won a fall by count out to level the match, and then they had the double count out in the earlier fall. So 5 points were accumulated for the Bulldogs, 3 for the Infernos. We take the 2-point margin and we whack 1 point off because the Bulldogs were at 123 and the Infernos were 105, 18-point difference, so 2 minus 1 equals 1. And after all that, the Bulldogs just pick up 1 point and the Infernos don't lose any points. In the 8-round bout, Otto Wans eliminates Jackie Pallo from the territory. Pallo will be heading somewhere else. 3:19 into round 5. He hits a giant splash. Wans over Pallo. And the match just concluded before we took the air. Quintero Oki defeated, it wasn't a defeat, it was a double count out with Bert Azarati. Double count out, and that will allow Oki to pick up 3 more points as he's being more and more recognized as being a formidable champion here, holding the Atlantic title. So we have our women's title match all set up. Stipulation in this match is that it is no disqualification. It is a no DQ match. We will go 60 minutes. All other rules apply. It could be stopped by cuts, and any other rule is legal, but in this match there is no disqualification. So it's Burke 11-1-2 in year 4, Moolah 3-4-2, and there's no one even near Burke and Moolah in terms of being a top contender. So these two have just been doing battle week after week after week. Vlog likes the computer. Vlog likes Moolah to prevail in the no DQ match. Understandable, you think that would be right up her alley. Of course, these two are longtime champs in women's wrestling. Moolah held the belt, I would like to say somewhere in the 50s up until 1984 on and off. Moolah in control, and a steel chair shot right off the bat. And Moolah takes that, and she's seeing stars, and she loses 30 points right off the bat of the match. Body slam countered by Moolah. Moolah with a top rope neck snap, and Burke saw that coming, got out of the way. A counter, legal whip to the ropes. Legal knee countered. And a chair shot for Moolah now. And that'll take 15 points off of Burke's total. Pinhold countered by Moolah. Suplex attempt and thud. Moolah gets Burke over. Burke very, very strong for her height. And that's 13 points off of Burke's total. The bout even right now. 2:20 into the bout. No action. And we have a cut on Burke. 29 points worth. As Moolah has assaulted Burke and threw her into the crowd. And the crowd was all scurrying for cover in London. And Burke has been cut open, a 29-point cut, and now Moolah with a sizable advantage 3 minutes into the bout. Eye gouge by Moolah, well, you would expect that from her. Pin hold, no pin. Lying clothesline, no. And we keep going. Hair pull, of course these girls are going to yank each other's hair out. And actually they're women. I shouldn't be calling them girls in this day and age. I'll get tagged for political correctness or something like that. Moolah with a counter move, and yeah, they're going hard and heavy outside the ring. Burke slammed into a ringside table, headlock by Moolah, which seems kind of tame after all of that. Throat chop by Moolah. And this is a body slam attempt. No, doesn't get it done. Burke trying to win the title back, but Moolah is the queen of mean here in GSW. Legal whip to the ropes. No. Moolah has control. Chair shot. Oh, chair shot to the leg. And that is 15 points. Moolah still with a sizable lead, almost 100 points. In fact, it's 104 points at the 6:24 mark. Slave lock, that's not going to get it done. But Moolah off to a fast start. Submission move, arm breaker. Not enough to get the submission. Now the battle leaves the ring and heads to the arena floor where both wrestlers punish each other using anything they can get their hands on. Both are bleeding profusely now, but the battle rages on down the arena aisles and then back to the back of the arena. The battle still does not stop and ends up in the parking lot where cars are damaged and people are sent scurrying for cover. Wrestlers eventually make it back to the ring and the match continues. Mildred Burke continues to expend precious energy trying to defend herself, and they both lost 75 points in all of that, which is almost the stamina level in itself for both of them. Throat chop by Burke is countered. Whip to the ropes scores for Moolah. Choking scores for Moolah. No action. And nothing continues to happen. Throat chop by Moolah. Counter by Moolah on a submission move tried by Burke. Face rake by Moolah. That's 5 points. We're almost at the 10-minute mark. Pin attempt with a foot on the ropes. No, that's not going to score. We're at the 10:04 mark. 1:24 and 25 off in cuts from Moolah. So both wrestlers wearing the claret right now. Burke at 262 damage, 54 off on cuts. Headlock by Burke. Burke's got to do something big here, I would think. No action. Suplex attempt. No. Suplex attempt for Moolah. Scores. 13 more points come off of Burke's total. Burke's getting outmanned here. Kick by Moolah. Legal knee by Moolah. Suplex attempt countered. Burke going for a submission. No. But Burke is a sad citizen right now. And ropes move, body press by Moolah. Suplex attempt. No. Flying punch by Moolah. That does not score the pinfall. We have had 4 pin attempts for Moolah, 3 for Burke. You'd think it was way more one-sided when you look at the damage total. Moolah has now jumped out to a 170-point lead, which is big. Pin hold. Small package. No. Not a bad effort on that by Burke. She got an 8 on the 3 count and needed a 1 to get the pinfall. So Moolah in command, a couple of legal chops, legal elbows, body slam countered by Burke. Burke, legal forearm, no. Auto control loss, no action, submission move. Leg hold countered by Moolah. Moolah goes for the knee. Burke is turning into a mess. Moolah with the suplex, gets it, 13 more points off. Headbutt by Burke that scores. On the jaw, kick by Burke to the back. Moolah going for a standing drop kick. And we have a winner. Moolah retains by pinfall 19-25. Moolah, that match, that no DQ match, just seemed to bring the beast out of her, and she wins with relative ease. Moolah by pinfall to retain 19-25 the time. But these two will likely meet again as we head to the Eastern Combine, the North American Eastern Combine. And we'll see what happens when these two meet again. They are both going to be tied with the 5 points and rankings. Moolah will go up to 138 and Burke will drop down to 138. Okay, again, the time of the fall, 19:25 is the official time. And it was a standing drop kick that did the deed that Burke did not catch until it was too late. Damage was 169.25 in cuts for Moolah, 357, 54 in cuts for Burke. Star rating 4.5 stars. So this one was quite the match. And now we're going to head back to Tokyo, where we were last week, for the Monarch of the Mat Circuit qualifying final. We will see you right over there. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to stop number 3 here on GSW Grand Slam Saturday. We're now at the phase of the week where we do our Monarch of the Mat Circuit finals. This will be coming back for the Okerlund Cup Tag Team Tournament, but it won't be in way near the depth that we have had here with Monarch of the Mat. Stop number 15 of the circuit finals heads to Tokyo for the final between, first, as Julie Chen would say on Big Brother, and often does. Let's pop it up there. There we go. We've had a title change in the preliminaries of our Tokyo tournament. We have had Ultimo Guerrero break through and finally win his first GSW title, won the Pacific title over Jumbo Tsuruta in the quarterfinals of the Tokyo tournament. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Let's show you who has already made the tournament. We just got 4 tournaments left to play out, 2 this week, 2 the next. Tokyo, Mexico City, San Juan, and London. By the way, some circuit news. A couple of mergers took place during these past few days. Calgary and Montreal decided to merge, and they will be GSW Canada, and they will take the Montreal spot, so they will be first up. You'll see the first match from GSW Canada before this very episode finishes. Houston and Dallas merged, so they will be GSW Texas, and they will combine forces, and we're down to 16 circuits, which makes it a little easier for me to do. So let's go to what happened in the Tokyo tournament. There we go. And show you the results. We had an 8-man battle royal to kick things off. Seemed like it happened 3 weeks ago. Umaga, or as William Regal used to say, Umenga, won the battle royal over Frankie Williams, who was the last one out before Umaga stood alone. First round, it was Ken Patera over Gino Hernandez. Guinness Connery shocked the Ultimo Dragon. He moved to the quarterfinals. Tony Gurria did defeat Ivan Koloff by DQ, but not without a price, as Koloff, Uncle Ivan, injured Garza for the remainder of the tournament, and Gurria sustained a concussion and was ruled out for the remainder of the tournament, and that will give somebody a bye into the semis. Jumbo Tsuruta over Ricky Dozan in the Battle of Baby Faces. It was a draw, but Ricky Dozan will pick up buku points, 5 points for the draw. Ultimo Guerrero over Kensuke Sasaki with a reverse super play at 1954. Hiroyoshi Tenzan over Akira Maeda, moonsault 25-41. So Tenzan picked up the bye. Antonio Inoki and Yun Akayama had a good technical battle. They went 24-31, and it was Akayama losing on a roll-up. Koji Kamemoto, a former champ in the Pacific Theater, he defeats Umaga, flying punch 7-23. We went to the quarterfinals, and here's where we had our title change. Downtown Bruno, who was not involved in the first match, came out and managed Ultimo Guerrero in the second. We have not seen Bruno in GSW before, kind of an odd pick to manage somebody over in Japan, but it worked. Speed Moves gives Guerrero the championship 5 minutes 3 seconds. Hiroyoshi Tenzan, as we just pointed out, got a bye through the quarterfinals to the semifinals. Hiroyoshi Tenzan, speaking of which, ran in on the Inoki Kandri match. Inoki won by DQ at 13:53. Kanemoto over Patera, Tiger Suplex, 17:51. That set up our semis. Inoki and Tenzan. It was Inoki. Tired and weary Inoki wins on a backdrop suplex, 21:35. Guerrero was DQ'd against Koji Kamemoto, so Guerrero now owns the Pacific title because the title cannot change hands on a disqualification. So that sets up our final. No titles at stake between Antonio Inoki and Koji Kamemoto. Kamemoto was number one because he was the Pacific champ at the time we set up the draw. won the Battle Royal, I believe, and then Saruta beat him, and now Ultimo Guerrero has beat uh, Saruta. And those are your three Pacific champions we've had so far in GSW. We'll do the trade hold recommendations right in front of you. We'll give Inoki his both. It's not a title match. It's one fall 60. And let me just check off. Oh, I didn't do it. Good thing I caught it. The minus 10 DQ rules. If we have a result ending in a double, it's Kamamoto who advances as the higher seed. So let's go it. Let's do it. Vlog predicting an easy Inoki victory. I would tend to agree with that. And I will come in a little bit closer. And off we go. Special move. Dragons to play. Oh, too early to do that, and Inoki easily countered it. Legal whip to the ropes before Inoki almost got the pin right then and there. Supplé attempt by Inoki, countered. Pin hold by Kamamoto, no pin. All long odds for getting the pin this early. Pin hold. Rolling reverse by Kamamoto, so he's picked up the first two pin attempts. Actually, he picked up two in a row. Inoki had the first. Full body slam by Kamamoto does not score the pin. Sleeper hold by Kamamoto. Trying to wear Inoki down a bit. Supplé attempt by Kamamoto. Boom. 10 points of damage. Top rope knee drop for Inoki, and he loved to do that, but Kamamoto was not shocked by it. By the way, records-wise, Kamamoto 4-3 in year 4, Inoki 4-2-1. Took the world champ Dory Funk Jr. to a double countout 3 bouts ago. Auto control loss, a body slam by Inoki, legal throw countered by Kamamoto. Legal knee, no pin. Quick hitting forearms to Kamamoto, that's a 6-pointer. Submission move goes for the single leg Boston, 5 points off. So we're at 632 is about even. Supplé attempt scores for Inoki, 10 points. Pile driver is countered. Ropes move countered by Kamamoto. We go back to Inoki. Ooh! A facial for Kamamoto as he goes face first into the ring post. Inoki feeling the need to go postal, and it's 15 more points off of Kamamoto's stamina, which puts Inoki in the lead. Auto control loss. We go back and forth. Kamamoto using punches outside the ring. Tight match so far. Pin hold for Kamamoto does not score. Leg hold for Inoki. That's 6 more points off. So it's about an even-Steven match. Inoki with great stamina. Kick for Inoki. To the side of the head of Kamamoto. Legal punches by Inoki. Legal headbutt by Antonio Inoki, the man who once faced Muhammad Ali. Seeing today, as I'm recording this, it's June 1st, June 1st, 2021, 6/1/21, that this is the 45th anniversary of the famous taping at Allentown, Pennsylvania, where Gorilla Monsoon airplane spinned Muhammad Ali, and that was in preparation for Ali's bout with Inoki. No pin there. Stomp by Kamamoto, whip to the ropes by Kamamoto, counter by Inoki. Inoki going with arm holds outside the ring. We're about 12 minutes in, still a very close match. Inoki with a very slight lead. Don't think the projection people for the networks are going to call this anytime soon. Especially move, moonsault. Legal elbow by Inoki, legal chop by Inoki. Arm holds by Inoki, and that's another good 20 points off of Kamamoto's total. Gotta wonder how long Kamamoto will last with Inoki. Stamina is not good. That digit to the right of the slash is a 6. So he will lose stamina at a greater rate than Inoki will. Inzaguri does not score. So Kamamoto goes for a face rake. Ouch! And that's 3 more points off. Kamamoto's pin rating now jumping up to 34-4, and it will go up higher as we move on. Whip to the ropes by Inoki. Kamamoto 25 points for losing a stamina level. Inoki is down 7 to 7 more points before he takes a stamina hit. Specialty move. Cross arm breaker. That's not going to score it. Disqualified check. Strategy card used. High vertical suplex by Inoki. And yes, Kamamoto has lost the stamina level. Enziguri! And that is not going to get it done. Kamamoto used the ropes. Inoki going for the octopus hold, and we'll play it out. No pin, no submission. Pausing for a commercial in nature. That's a good idea. Legal leg hold for Inoki on Kamamoto. Headbutt for Inoki. Inoki pouring it on here, using punches. Legal throat chop. As long as he doesn't do something stupid, he should win the bout. Headlock. Arm hold. And legal arm hold now. Knee to the bicep. That always hurt. And Inoki has opened up a huge lead in damage. He's now up 123 points. Leg drop. Could this be it? It is. Inoki advances. He goes to the final stage. And Kamamoto did not really give him too much trouble at all. Time of the fall was 23:14. That's going to give Inoki 2 more points. Because he got the full pin. So he gets the full point, but the 21-point difference has him lose 2. So it was 23:14. Flying leg drop. Shades of the Hulkster. And it was 202.74. Inoki with a nice performance. 3.0 on the star rating. And that's your match. So we will head now to Mexico City for their Monarch of the Mat Circuit qualifying finals. See you there. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to our latest bout here on Grand Slam Saturday as we head to the Mexico City circuit for their Monarch of the Mat Circuit qualifying final. And I will pause for a brief moment and reveal the 2 finalists for this tournament. We had the Battle of the Maskmen and Technicos. It is El Canik against Mystico. And we'll go through the tournament and tell you what has been happening with that. We had a 6-man battle royal for the 16 seed. It was won surprisingly by Mark Rocco over Samoan Afa, Flash Monroe, Bobby Shane, Mark Youngblood, and Negro Navarro. In the first round, Blue Demon upended Karloff Lagarde. Jacques Rougeau went to a draw with El Hito Del Santo, and by rule, Rougeau advances. Ted Cox defeated Big John Studd, the Battle of the Heels, 1955, with a diamond head twist. Then we had a bunch of draws. Mystico and Jack Veneno out of Puerto Rico drew. Mystico advances by being the highest seed. Jackie Paolo, who you'll see in our next match, up in what is now GSW Canada, battling Hector Garza in Garza's first defense of the World Junior Heavyweight crown. He drew with Medico Assassino, and by rule, again, Paolo advances. Mil Mascaras drew with El Rayo de Jalisco. Mascaras automatically advanced. El Canik in his first round bout, he went to a double countout with Conan, or as they used to call him back in the 90s, Conan el Barbaro, Conan the Barbarian. Conan held on, got the draw, and picked up a boatload of points, but El Canik moved on to the quarterfinals. Dr. Wagner Jr. in a battle of rule breakers battled Mark Rocco, and Wagner advanced on a low blow by Rocco that got him disqualified. And we moved on to the quarterfinals. Mystico upended Jackie Paolo. So Mystico was a 5 seed advancing and not a 4. I have that incorrectly further down. And Mystico advances. Mil Mascaras and Ted Cox went to a double countout. Mil advanced on that. El Canik over Jacques Rougeau, Gorilla Press, 16:35. Blue Demon upset Dr. Wagner Jr., won in 33 minutes with the flying head scissors. So, we moved on to the semis. And the semis went like this. It was an all-masked wrestler battle, and it was all technicos from here on out. So we know a good guy is going through to the final stage. It's just a matter of who. Alkanic and Milmascaris went to a no contest when Conan interfered. The ref wanted to disqualify Alkanic, but Alkanic clearly said, hey, I had nothing to do with this. And Kanik advances on being the higher seed. Mystico and Blue Demon went to a 45-minute draw in a nice battle between the two technical stars, and Mystico advances on being the highest seed, so that sets up Alcano, the 2 seed, against the 5 seed Mystico. And remember that when we draw up the seeds for the final stage tournament, it will be all based on the seeding that they had going into the second quarter of year 4, which is what we are still in. So we'll look at the matchups, nothing to trade. This is one fall, 60-minute time limit. And whoever wins, if we have a draw, if we have a non-winning result, then Alkanic punches his ticket to the tournament. So he's got that going for him. Mystico, of course, out of the WWE as of late, and Alkanic, a legend in Japan and Mexico. So we start the match. Suplex attempt right away by Mystico, and he got Alkanic up. That is surprising. 9 points off of Kanic's damage total. Kanik 5-2-1. Mystico comes in 3-2-3. Just having the time limit draw. Mystico is impaired because he was busted open in one of his earlier bouts. I don't remember which at this point in time. Super kick by Mystico, but that's countered. Face rake by Kanik. Kanik was a heel in Japan, so he's familiar with the rule breaking. And both these guys want to punch their ticket into the final stage, which will be held in St. Louis, the St. Louis area, over the 3 weeks after the tournament ends. We're hearing that Carbondale, Illinois may be a site for one of the preliminary round weeks. Also hearing Kansas City might be a stop for another. Auto control losses and a legal whip to the ropes by Alkanic. No. Disqualify check done. Remember, you're using the DQ minus 10 rules, so disqualifications are not impossible. And I forgot to give you the tighter angle here, so I will. There we go. Never too late for that. And Alkanic is hurt. Back injury. So we will adjust his trades of holds accordingly. And I'm going to widen back out for you to see this. Body slam to headlock. Suplex to headlock. Ropes to headlock. And on we go. And we'll come in tight again. And on with the match. Could be a break for Mystico. No pin on the suplex attempt by Mystico. Legal chop. Ropes move. Nothing there. Pin hold by Mystico. Body press. That does not work on the larger man unless the larger man is hurt. Diving arm drag. No. But Mystico has 5 pin attempts already to Alkanic's 2. Body press. Nothing there. Flying headbutt by Mystico. He's pulling out all the stops. Nothing there. Legal headbutt. Legal turnbuckle move by Alkanic. Fan interaction. Part of the crowd behind Alkanic very solidly in Mystico. Oh, he got a cheap shot in. He got a forearm smash in. It's been all Mystico so far as we're at the 10-minute mark. He's at 45 minus, and Alkanic at 74. Auto control loss. Alkanic. Auto control loss back. Arm hold by Alkanic. Pin hold. Nothing there. So we've gone 11, almost 12 minutes. We've already had 10 pin attempts. So we're going at a fast pace here. And you would expect that between these two, even though these two have had between them 6 matches combined. Suplex attempt, and Mystico got him over again. So even with all the ring time tonight, he's got good strength for a little guy. Disqualify check. Fan interaction. The crowd giving Alkanik a bit of a boost. That's 10 points to the good for him. Eye gouge by Alkanik. Whip to the ropes by Alkanik. Legal chop by Alkanik. So we've crossed now 15 minutes. It's now almost a dead heat between the two of them. Remember, we go a maximum of 60 minutes. Leg hold by Alkanik. Forearm by Alkanik. Leg hold by Alkanik. So he's piling up some successful moves. Headlock by Alkanik. 5 points off of Mystico. And Alkanik has opened up a 14-point lead. Both these guys have slash for stamina, which means they can endure a good beating. Kick by Alkanik. Mystico goes for outside the ring action, but Alkanik countered that. He tried a move of his own. That was also countered. Legal leg drop by Mystico. No pin. Very close match. Very tight. Headlock by Alkanik. Only a 21-point difference at the 20-minute mark. Mystico countered. Pinhold, which was countered. Throat chop by Alkanik. That's a -5. Ropes move, countered. Illegal turnbuckle move succeeds for Alkanik. That's 4 more points off. Alkanik seems to be getting the better of him now. And a pin attempt does not score after a pile driver. A kick by Alkanik. Headlock by Alkanik. Very successful with his last few holds. Some more counters and arm hold by a Mystico. Now Mystico a little under the gun. His rating is now up to 35-3 on a pin. So Alkanik perhaps getting the better of him now, -5. If you just tuning in to this point of the video, the stream, and you missed it, Antonio Inoki won the other Monarch of the Mat tournament, defeating, I think it was Koji Yamamoto in Japan. Gorilla Press. This could be it. No, it is not. Legal chop by Alkanik, who's been pouring it on as of late. He's not going for the submission. He's opened up now almost an 80-point lead at the 27-minute mark. Ropes move by Alkanik, by Mystico, I should say. A flying body press, 14 points off, but it does not score a pin. Headlock by Alkanik. Legal arm hold by Alkanik. A kick countered by Mystico. Mystico goes for a tumbling plancha. No pin. Alkanik's pin number is still very low. Mystico's lost another stamina level. He's at 39-3 on the pin rating. Suplex attempt, and Mystico's been nailing this move all night. No pin. Halfway through the match now. Pin hold by Mystico. No pin. Mystico has caught up a little bit. He's now only about 53 points behind in damage. Specialty move, super kick, does not work. Alkanik's been seeing that move all day. Submission move by Alkanik, no. Legal chop by Alkanik, yes. Headlock by Alkanik. Headlock by Alkanik. Speed moves. Remember, Alkanik hurt his back earlier in this bout. Headlock by Alkanik. With those traded moves again outside the ring action. Alkanik using arm hold, so he's keeping it simple. Auto control loss. And remember, if it's a draw or any sort of double here or no contest, Alkanik punches his ticket to the finals. Legal chop by Alkanik. Traded move, headlock. And that's one of the moves he has been using since his injury earlier in the bout. We're at the 35-minute mark now. Alkanik's lead has expanded to 84 points. I'm sure the networks are about to call the race for Alkanik if this were political. No action. Submission move. That's not going to get it done. Arm holds again by Alkanik. Mystico tries for that tumbling plancha again, but countered. Arm holds by Alkanik. He doesn't have to win. Mystico does. Submission, no, we're not even going to try that. Alkanik lost focus. Lead is now 100 points at the 38-minute 15-second mark. Legal throw by Mystico. Pin hold by Mystico. No pin. Legal arm hold by Alkanic. Choking by Alkanic. No action. Whip to the ropes by Alkanic. Getting the lion's share of holds in, but he has been in control now 69 times to Mystico's 43. Mystico's gotten 6 counters to Alkanic's 12. Mystico with 13 pin attempts now to Alkanic's 5, but Alkanic in much better position right now. Another move countered by Mystico, and a pin attempt on Alkanic with a body press. No, we're at 41-51. Counter by Mystico off of a pile driver. Illegal choking by Mystico. No pin. Supplé attempt by Mystico. This one was counter. Legal whip to the ropes for Alkanic succeeds. Headlock by Alkanic. Throat chop by Alkanic. No action. Diving arm drag. That was countered by Alkanic. Legal forearm. Forearm to the nose. No. And we play on. 44-39 into the bout. Remember, we just go 60. Headlock by Alkanic. And counter move. Oh, Alkanic gets posted. He gets a facial from Mystico. That's 15 more points off of his total. Mystico still way behind at 111 points. Kick countered by Alkanic. Alkanic goes for a power move and a slam down to the canvas, and we're now past the 45-minute mark. Alkanic press backbreaker. This should be all it is. Alkanic is going to advance to the final stage, the 2 seed. Wins this bout in 46-31. So Alkanic, your winner here. Alkanic is going to move on and face somebody in either the first or second round of the tournament, the final stage of the tournament. So Alkanic wins a close battle. He will get 3 points for the win to go to 144 on the ranking. Match was 46-31. That was a lengthy one. And he wins with the Alkanic press backbreaker. Just had too much bulk for Mystico to handle. The final damage totals 174, 305. No blood on either side, and the match rating was pretty good. It got a 4. Got a 4-star rating. And with that, we're now heading to the new merged territory of GSW Canada. Calgary and Montreal have merged, and we'll tell you all about it in just a moment. And we're ready to go for our last stop on the GSW Grand Slam Saturday Tour. Hector Garza defending against Jackie Pello, the World Junior Heavyweight title at stake at the brand new Canadian circuit. Toronto, the home, Montreal and Calgary merging. And Garza just recently won the World Junior Heavyweight title in a battle royal. And I'll remind you all that the first bout next week on Grand Slam Saturday is going to be for the world title, a rematch for Bruno Sammartino as he battles not Andre the Giant, but Dory Funk Jr. is our world champion. Here we go, folks. We'll get you through what's already happened in GSW Canada. Ricky Morton by DQ over Pampero Firpo. Morton filling in for the Crusher, who got trade lotteried to the Charlotte circuit. Ace Orton, Bob Orton Jr. by DQ over Pepper Gomez. It was a no contest as Kurt Angle and Randy Savage with Elizabeth, who was not involved in what I'm about to describe what happened. They exchanged chair shots, and the ref just said, "Oh, you guys could go back. We don't need you." No contest. They'll each pick up a rankings point. Double countout between the Crusaders and Kalmakoffs. They went to a double DCO. Kenny Omega filling in for Kola Coriani, who is now in Texas, goes up against Dara Singh, and Singh wins by countout. He's on a good roll here in GSW Canada and GSW Montreal. Before that, he picks up 2 points. The Blackjacks and the Hart Foundation went to a double DQ in only 4.5 minutes. So that sets up our main event. Jackie Pallo, some of you may recognize him if you're not familiar with British wrestling from an appearance he made on a sitcom, a Britcom that was very popular over here in the United States for many years called Are You Being Served, which is a comedy that takes place in a fictitious London department store called Grace Brothers. And there is an episode where Captain Peacock, played by the late great Frank Thornton, gets into it with a member of another department who turns out to be Jackie Pallo, and they were going to box because that was the sport of expertise for Captain Peacock, but they could not find boxing gloves. The for the character played by Pallo's size, so they decide to wrestle, and Frank Thornton backs out of that, and they bring in John Inman, who played Mr. Humphreys, and they have a little match. I won't spoil the outcome for you, but that's the plot. So we have set up the main event. We are just about ready to go. Garza comes in world champ, and Pallo's got to pin him or make him submit in 60 minutes to be champ. Pallo has never been champ in GSW before. He's been in about 3 of the 4 years I've been doing this. Computer predicting Garza, and we're predicting this match will begin right now. Yeah, they could say that on TV on the news crews. The news at 5 begins right now. I could do that. Legal elbow by Garza, and the match is underway. Auto control loss by Garza. Pallo loses control of himself. Kick countered by Pallo. And body scissors applied by Pallo, not to a submission. And that reduces the stamina 4 points. Legal forearm by Pallo. That's good for 6. No action. Whip to the ropes by Pallo. And Pallo off to a good start, but we still have a long way to go in this one. Legal forearm. No pin. The first pin attempt of the match goes Pallo's way. Pallo using arm holds. He does not want to get disqualified here, of course, because you can't win the title on a DQ. We haven't had a pinfall in any of the 6 bouts that preceded this one. Illegal hair pull by Pallo. Forearm by Pallo. Leg hold by Garza, reversing things. And a body slam by Garza. 5 minutes in, Pallo has the lead at 18 off to 34 off. Legal chop by Garza countered. Here comes Pallo with a headlock, but that too is countered. Outside the ring, and Garza nailed Pallo with a punch as he tried to re-enter the ring, knocking him back to the arena floor. But both men make it back in, and we continue on. Ropes move by Garza is countered, but Pallo's kick is also countered. So a lot of back and forth in this ball. Illegal punches by Garza. Pallo might have had it coming to him. As you look at the records, Garza 5-3-1 in year 4. Pallo at 2-3-2. Auto control loss. Go over to Pallo for a submission move. And Pallo trying for the submission again, but Garza gets him up in a suplex. No pin. Legal whip to the ropes by Pallo. That does not work. More whipping to the ropes, this time by Pallo. And that is no pin. So far we have had already 4 pin attempts. We are almost at the 10-minute mark. Legal turnbuckle move by Pallo. Pin hold by Pallo. He got him. Jackie Pallo is the new World Junior Heavyweight Champ. So that reign by Garza has not lasted long, and the revolving door of junior heavyweight champions continues. So Jackie Pallo is your new World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Pallo by pin, new champ, and he will get 5 points for the win. And hopefully Garza comes back and will become something more than a trivia question. Time of the bout was 10:30. Inside cradle to finishing hold. And it was 57-42 on damage. I believe Pallo is the first Britisher to hold a GSW championship. And he takes home the World Junior Heavyweight title. Garza. Now, Garza gets to pick the circuit of his choice to recompete in, and he will probably go back to Los Angeles. As we said, the time of the fall, 10.5 minutes. Star rating 3.5. So it was a good match while it lasted, but Jackie Pallo, Mr. TV, is your brand new World Junior Heavyweight Champion of the world. And before we go, let me mention the clothing store I have, such as it is at Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims. The URL down at the bottom, streamlabs.com, Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims /merch. There's a slash between streamlabs.com and Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims as well. So that does it, folks. Another week in the can. And we will be back on June 12 of a brand new episode of GSW Saturday night, Lord willing, and if the creek does not rise. This has been Big Paulie coming to you, wishing you well. Godspeed and God bless. We'll do it all again soon, and bye-bye for now, everybody.